All right, I want to change your life, so I'm about to share with you something that I wasn't intending on sharing, but since I'm getting ready to essentially scale a business to $1 million in 4 weeks live in front of hundreds and hundreds of people, it had me thinking about, what if I wanted to scale a business to $100,000 a month? $1 million a year ends up being around $83,000 a month, but let's just say 100 grand a month is the goal. Okay. What would be the growth infrastructures that I would want to sell, that I would want to build and release into companies? If you don't know me, my name is Serge Gatari. I run clientacquisition.io, and we're essentially partnering up with a bunch of experts, agencies who are looking to transition from being a commodity or just feeling the pressure and the slow growth that happens when you just become another one of those, right? If you guys have ever read anything from Ray Dalio, he likes to talk about another one of those. And I feel like when you're just another marketer, another advertiser, another appointment setter, you end up just being another one of those, and nothing makes you stand out. So we're essentially helping people pivot from being commodities and struggling to acquire clients effortlessly and profitably and get them to build and release. Now, it had me think about, what are the most important problems that I believe are the hardest to solve and that there is high demand in solving. And I came up with the following: the ability to generate sales calls consistently, the ability to close deals and collect a lot of money fast enough, the ability to create content at scale and volume of content, and the last one, the fourth problem that I would be excited to solve, is talent acquisition. Every single business, to be honest, all these problems can be solved with talent. Funny enough, like this here solves all problems. If you have the right people, you're not going to deal with this, you're not going to deal with this, you're not going to deal with this, right? But I'm going to talk about this when we get to it, right? Once a business has found product market fit, okay, so let's say you've got an idea, you've learned something, you've acquired a skill, and you want to start a business. You found service market fit. People are willing to trade money in exchange of your product and service. Okay, that means you have found product market fit. These are the main bottlenecks that everyone is going to be facing that keeps them from scaling past 7 figures, $1 million a year and beyond. Okay, without the ability to generate calls consistently, without your ability to predictably close deals or to nurture, if you don't have content online in today's state of the market, I'm sorry, but making $1 million a year is going to be really hard, even if it's not supposed to be hard. And if you can't find talent, you're going to struggle. Okay. So my goal is I want to share the best growth infrastructures that personally build and release into companies to scale past 100 grand to $1 million a month if I was starting from zero. Okay. And one thing that I'd like to ask of you is, if you have experience in any of the things that I want to share right now, and you have a specific insight or protocol process around doing this, I would actually want you to join the challenge, because I'm going to be picking one CEO, because during the challenge, I'm essentially going to be randomly picking an offer that I'm going to be scaling. And I need a proper dialed in CEO whose company we can scale. I don't want to build $1 million company for someone who can't even handle like $2,000 a month. So I kind of need you to already be ready to support a lot of weight and a lot of success in a way. So I'm making this to eventually even help attract some founders who may be doing some of this, so we can partner together and scale it. Okay. So anyway, for you guys, if you guys want to sign up for the challenge, it's $9.53 to get signed up. I'll just put the link below. If you're watching this down the line and you still want to maybe partner with us, then you can just find a link to speak with my team, or just message me on Instagram. Now, the first thing that I want to start with is this problem here, generating calls. Okay, what would I do or offer the market to solve this problem? In a kind of what growth infrastructure would I build in order to solve this problem and scale a business to 100 grand a month? Okay. Before I talk about what I would do personally, I want to talk about what are the current options being offered to the marketplace right now. Every company selling services or high ticket products online needs more and more sales calls at all times. Even I need more sales calls. Everybody needs more sales calls, right? But the current solutions being offered to the marketplace work best for people with money, right? But when I was starting out in 2020, when I left my job, I couldn't afford to spend, I don't know how much money I have right now on content, on ads. I'm spending, like $1,000 a day on ads. I didn't have $1,000 a day on ads. I don't have that kind of money. So the founder who doesn't have a lot of money is left with solutions that aren't as efficient, and they're asked to do it themselves until they make money to pay people, until they make enough money to pay people. This has been one of the weirdest things that I don't understand. People who are starting out, or maybe founders who have businesses doing less than $1 million a year, they're always told you should do it yourself until you understand it enough to be able to either afford delegating, or even finding someone to delegate it to. But I'm like, no, that's a problem that needs to be solved, right? But right now, if you're starting out, you're doing less than 100 grand a month, 50K a month. These are the options that you're faced with. Either you're gonna go ads, you're gonna do things like group funnels, right? Maybe sending people to school. We have our partners killing it, making 100 grand a month with this funnel, or VSL funnels. We also have a lot of partners in different niches killing it with this, and we also have some clients who are doing IG follower funnels. But this ends up being, it ends up not working out because some people just ignore you, and you're bottlenecked to having just one setter. So depending on how good the setter is on your profile, or how much hours he can work, it can also limit you. So all these funnels, they require a good budget to test and find winners. But most importantly, some of them hit a bottleneck if you can't find the right constraint, the right bottleneck. Okay, so which means that you'll need even more money to make it work if ever it stops working. The worst pain that a lot of people have is when ads stop working, stop being profitable. They're like, holy shit, their life ends, right? I'm sure if you guys run ads, if your main acquisition channel is ads, you know how scary it feels to. I mean, I've never felt it, but I've seen other people, feel the pressure when stuff stops working. Okay. Option B. This is what being told to people who have less money is, hey, do outbound, do cold calls, do cold email, DMs, right? And I don't know about you guys, but none of this shit is fun to do. And when I quit my job in 2020, 2021, even if you told me, hey, Serge, you're going to make 10 grand a month if you call 100 people a day, I would not call people. I would not call 100 people. I promise you. It is. And also, I know some people are like, you should get over the fear, and if you want it bad enough, you should be able to cold call. I'm like, no. I want it bad enough to become smart enough to know that I don't have to do anything myself. And that's a message that I don't know why most people aren't being told that there is a way to access leverage, right? People are told you should set up your cold email and scrape leads and, get a Fiverr person to get you an email list, and then you should send the automated and instantly. I'm like, nah, it doesn't work like that. Cold DM, same thing. You have to do it yourself or hire an agency that only cares about profit margins instead of helping you dial in and solve every problem in your business. For those who know about startups, you know that appointment setting or cold DMs or whatever is never really the only problem you have in your business. Sometimes you guys have offer problem, messaging problem, sales problem. So the guy who's doing cold DMs or cold email for you just cares about sending in those emails. They're not actually going to look at your other business functions and be like, hey man, I actually think you should change your offer. I think you should change your pricing. So even if they can get you appointments, you won't be able to scale because other constraints, or you have other problems in your business. So this year, it's good for people with money, and it's good for people without money here, but it's going to take them years for you to even become successful and start running a multiple six-figure business. Like to get to 20K a month doing some of this stuff is going to take you probably a year. When there are, right now we have kids doing 100 grand a month, right? Like 6 months ago, they were doing 5K a month, right? But until you learn that it's actually just because you don't have money doesn't necessarily mean you have to struggle and spend a lot of time now scaling a business. No, it's just you have to uncover better options. So this is where my thesis on how to solve this problem comes in. And by the way, for those who don't know, this is a problem that I've already solved. I built a $8 million business behind it. We started out with leveraging the option that I'm about to share with you guys. And we've made a lot of money with it. Okay. We got paid a lot of money for it. Now look at this. We're almost sold out for the challenge. Therefore, I've decided to select a business that we will be scaling a lot sooner than expected since we had some amazing people apply. If you believe you have what it takes to handle a 6-figure per month business and want us to build it for you, technically for free, $9.53 and $49 per week, then please make sure you register and fill out the application form before Sunday. Anybody who signs up after Sunday will not be able to have their business potentially selected. So you have the next 72 hours to apply. Click here, pay $9.53 and apply. So option B, here's what I personally would, this is how I think about when I'm picking a market and I'm picking a business. Well, first, I want to go after startups below $1 million a year. This mechanism won't attract, I don't want to target people with a lot of money, right? I want to go the right offer to the most, how can I call it? I want to go to the market where there's the most, the largest addressable market, right? I want the total addressable market to be the most that I can go after. Business doing $1 million a year or more, there aren't that many. So if you're going after these people, I don't really recommend for you guys to do build and release because build and release works really well in a market where there's a lot of people in pain and you can get 20, 30, 50 people a month buying your infrastructure and you can really scale, okay? To businesses doing $1 million and beyond, I think it's best to offer them services. And I'm going to show you guys how to do it, okay? So first things first, below $1 million, B2B, they are selling retainer services. So it could be all kinds of markets. I think maybe my audience is, agency focused and this and that, but you guys have to understand that there is way more businesses that charge retainers. That's not just the agency or the marketing space. There is a lot more companies that do that, okay? And then I want their ideal avatar to be able to be found on social media. I want to get clients. I want to do client acquisition on social media. Okay, so that's the first decision. Now, the next thing is, how do I solve the problem, this appointment setting problem? Well, these are the attributes that the mechanism or the infrastructure that I build into their company should have. I want it to be cheap. I want it to be affordable to sustain. Not cheap in the sense of installing it. No, cheap, but in the sense of sustaining it month after month. Anything that you build into a company, you have to understand that if it's not maintained for a minimum of 90 days, 6 months, it is not really going to produce great results. So that's attribute number one. And the second attribute is I need the mechanism to allow the founder to get a lot of volume of outreach, to get a lot of noise in the marketplace. I want it to be cheap. I also want it to be able to do volume. So it's almost like I want it cheap, but still reach a lot of people every day. And then I also want some type of leverage within the mechanism. I don't want the founder of the company to be needed or involved in order to create the desired outcome. Maybe in the setup they might be involved, but not to manage the thing, okay? So then I come up with the following option. $3 an hour VAs, okay? And in order for us to do a lot of volume, we need to maybe place multiple VAs, okay? And then in the sense of introducing leverage, I want to use media and help them craft process selling video sales letters that nurtures the lead before they jump onto a sales call. And let's say as one of the biggest bottleneck you'll have with VAs is the fact that they might not necessarily be able to have a conversation, find inefficiencies within a business and convert through, let's say, a long conversation. Well, then you eradicate that problem by leveraging video process selling video sales letters. For those who don't know, this is just a VSL that we use to sell people on a process so they can be interested in working with us. Okay, I'm not going to go into that, right? But so this would be the mechanism, right? Now our job is to build and release this mechanism and infrastructure into as many businesses as we can monthly. For those who don't know, when I was running when I went from appointment setting to building and releasing appointment setting infrastructures, we had a lot of clients that we would build and release growth infrastructures into their company, and we would build their acquisition teams. As you guys can see, we have a lot of company that we have their campaigns and everything that we built. And this is based on this is exactly what we were doing. So I'm essentially showing you guys an offer that I scaled to $600,000 a month doing. And I still think this offer, if I had to start from scratch, I would probably do this again because it has a great positioning. It's affordable. It's easy to sustain. and it's leveraged, and you can still do a lot of volume in a sustainable way and affordably, right? I think right now the pricing should be based around maybe 7 to 10K. I would say 5 to 10K if you're in a market that is maybe a little too broke, right? Timeline to deliver value should be 90 days. You don't need to do the 6-month long program. You shouldn't. Month 1 should be where you build and release the talent. I'm going to show you guys shortly what it looks like. Month 2 should be an optimization cycle. So you're like, hey, month 1 we're going to build this and release it into your company, and then the following 60 days we're just going to manage it, optimize it, so it starts flowing and generating results. Okay, and then one of the things that I mentioned for you guys is the back end. Well, all these businesses, even if we're making 7 to 10 grand upfront, and this you can easily get 10 clients a month and make 70K, 100K per month, but we still want a way to make 100 grand a month by the first of the month. So what do? Well, we build a retention offer. Well, if you already are building a good client base using this front-end offer, which is attractive, how should you get your back-end money? Well, I personally recommend building a community of companies where you can maybe help them optimize their campaigns, help them source more VAs as they want to scale the machine, and charge something light, something that that doesn't hurt their business. So 1K, 2K per month, that's good. If you have 10 new clients a month and you push 5 of them a month on this back-end offer, let's say they're paying you 1K, 2K a month, let's say that's 5 to 10K a month in a leveraged recurring revenue that you're not necessarily working actively on, right? So every month, by the end of the year, you've maybe added an extra $500,000 in back-end revenue, which is pretty great, okay? Now, before I go over the actual solution and the process, because we've actually implemented this and gotten great results in it, I just want to show you guys how the fulfillment works. So fulfillment is really simple. You would definitely need to help these companies improve their messaging, their offer. You need to help them dial in some systems for lead gen and their appointment setting infrastructure, right? So as an example, you would help place VAs. You would build the systems and processes, and you would build the campaign, outbound campaign. So this is the how, okay? So first you educate people on why it works the way. Then you have a talent internally to consult the businesses and to implement the talent or the campaigns. And then also you have the systems and the processes that help them essentially do the thing, okay? And then optimizing phase looks something like this. On a week-to-week basis, you collect data. If they're in KPI, you get them to do more of it. If they're not in KPI, then your team would help them optimize, set up processes, or set up new tests to get better results. And that's how it's leveraged. That's why, like, in 3-4 weeks, well, for us, we actually used to take only 14 days to build and release this whole thing. And then the following few months was just optimization. That's why this model is a lot more leveraged, okay? And it allows you to essentially, on the 7 to 10K that you're charging, it will maybe cost you $2,000 to fulfill per client, which is pretty nice as profit margins. That's how I think at 600K a month, I had maybe 66% profit margins. And it's because a lot of this stuff was leveraged, and it only took us maybe less than a month to deliver. So the cost of the team, I had at some point, I think in the fulfillment, I only had like 7 employees delivering on 600 grand worth of value every month, right? That's pretty great. No agency can sustain that level of cash flow with only 7 employees, right? But anyway, cool. Again, some of us, we already have a pool internally of VAs. So the reason why I'm put client acquisition that I pool of VAs is because for partners who want VAs, they actually just leverage our pool, because we already have 5,000, almost 6,000 VAs that are going through some of our training on process, on appointment setting. Anyway, but guys, the approach is really simple on how to actually do this. First, you need to get the business attention, preferably 300 outreaches a day minimum. You need to have a setter, you need to have the platform, you need to pick the messaging, okay? $3 an hour VAs, the platform that is used most by the prospect, direct value approach, okay? Then you need to send them the process selling VSL, educate the lead on a new process that can help them scale, and then convert just follow up with call to actions and more sales assets. And we've applied this for multiple campaigns that we've had in the past. This is from Mohiz. I think he was selling his short form content offer and essentially walked through this. Anyway, that's pretty much it. It's a really simple business, pretty straightforward. But the main reason why this would work and kill it is because of the following. No one is serving the lower end of the marketplace. They're all just being told, you should do outreach yourself. You should do cold email yourself. You should do cold calls yourself. I'm like, why? Find $5,000, find $7,000, put it on a credit card, or sell your bike, sell your car, and build an acquisition infrastructure that does the work on your behalf, so you don't have to waste time struggling as a business owner. Okay, so this would be option one on how to solve calls problem, right? For a lower end of the marketplace that is selling to B2B, that is selling retainer services, and with an avatar that can be found on social media. I'm going to be talking about the next one is going to be closing, solving sales process and collecting cash, because this is probably the most painful one when people have already solved appointment setting problems, but they're still incapable of growing their business because they don't have a steady client journey and they don't have a proper way to collect a lot of cash. Again, if you are someone who understands any of this stuff and you want to partner with us as we scale this, just join the challenge and maybe even become a partner. What do you have to lose? Take care. Love you guys. Bye-bye.